Welcome to the world of science fiction and forgotten worlds. Alien Universe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and never miss a new movies and story from this channel. Neil, human, or my predator will rip you apart. The alien commander's voice echoed across the ruined battlefield. It was cold, proud, and full of cruel confidence. Behind him, chained to a massive metal platform, stood a creature so terrifying that even the wind seemed afraid to touch it. The beast was enormous. Its skin looked like black armor, layered like blades. Its 4 glowing eyes scanned the ground slowly, patiently, like a hunter waiting for permission to kill. Long claws scraped against the steel floor, leaving deep marks. Every breath it took sounded like thunder trapped inside a cage. Hundreds of humans stood frozen. Some were soldiers. Some were engineers and colony workers. All of them were surrounded by alien war machines hovering silently in the sky. The planet's red dust swirled through the air, mixing with smoke from destroyed buildings. Humanity's colony on Virex 9 had fallen in less than 1 hour. And now the Conqueror wanted something simple. Submission. The tall alien stepped forward. His armor was silver and sharp, shaped like a predator itself. His eyes glowed a deep violet as he looked down at the humans. "I will say this once," he announced calmly. "Kneel before the Conqueror of Worlds. Kneel before the Dominion, and you may live." The chained beast behind him shifted slightly. The ground trembled. One of the human soldiers swallowed. Hard. Sweat rolled down his forehead, but he refused to lower his weapon. The alien commander noticed. A slow smile appeared on his thin gray face. "Ah," he said quietly, almost amused. "You still believe you can resist?" He raised one long finger and pointed toward the creature behind him. "This," he continued proudly, "is a Varkish predator, the most perfect hunter ever engineered. By our empire, it has ended rebellions on 7 planets. It has hunted armies across continents. And today, the beast suddenly roared. The sound ripped through the air like an explosion. Several humans instinctively stepped back. Some nearly dropped their weapons. The alien commander's smile grew wider. Today, it will teach humanity its place." For a moment, silence returned. Dust drifted across the broken colony walls. Burning vehicles crackled in the distance. Then the alien commander spoke again. "So I will ask you one final time," he said slowly. "Kneel or die." No one moved. Not a single human bent their knee. A few exchanged nervous glances. Others tightened their grip on their rifles. Fear was there, yes, but something else stood stronger. Defiance. The alien commander sighed. "Unfortunate," he muttered. He turned toward the control device in his hand. The creature was already restless. Its claws dug deeper into the metal platform. Its glowing eyes locked onto the group of humans like targets. It wanted to hunt. The alien lifted the control device and spoke coldly. "Very well. If humanity refuses to kneel, then humanity will become prey." His finger moved toward the activation switch. But at that exact moment, a single human voice broke the silence. "Hey." It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But it stopped everything. The alien commander slowly turned his head. A lone human man stepped forward from the crowd. His uniform was torn and dust covered his face, but his eyes were steady. He looked directly at the Conqueror. Then he glanced at the massive predator behind him, and surprisingly, he laughed. The sound confused everyone. Even the alien commander frowned slightly. "You find this amusing?" the alien asked. "No," he said calmly. "I just think you made a very big mistake." The alien's violet eyes narrowed. "And what mistake would that be, human?" The man pointed casually toward the chained predator. "That thing," he replied, "looks dangerous. The alien commander smiled again. It is. The human nodded slowly. Yeah, that's the problem. The battlefield grew quiet again. The alien commander tilted his head. I fail to understand. The human soldier looked around at the other survivors. Some of them were staring at him like he had lost his mind. But he didn't care. He looked back at the alien conqueror and said something that made the alien smile disappear instantly. You brought a predator, the human said. He paused, then his voice turned cold. To a planet full of hunters. For a moment, no one spoke. The alien commander stared at the human soldier as if trying to understand whether the man was brave or simply insane. Then the commander let out a quiet chuckle. A planet full of hunters? He repeated. You misunderstand your situation, human. Your colony lies in ruins. Your defenses are gone. Your people are surrounded. The only hunter. Here. He slowly pointed toward the massive creature behind him. Is my predator? The Varkesh predator lifted its head again. Its 4 glowing eyes focused on the human who had spoken. A deep growl rolled out of its chest, low and dangerous, like distant thunder. Several humans stepped back. But the man who had spoken earlier did not move. Instead, he crossed his arms and looked at the creature carefully, almost like a farmer studying a wild animal that wandered too close to the fence. Yeah, the human said slowly. Big, sharp claws, scary roar. He shrugged. We've seen worse. Now the alien commander's patience was starting to fade. You are either very brave, the alien said coldly, or very stupid. Maybe both, the human replied. A few of the other humans behind him tried to hide nervous smiles. The alien commander noticed that, and he didn't like it. His eyes darkened. Enough of this, he snapped. He raised the control device again. The metal chains holding the predator tightened and rattled as the beast struggled harder. The creature could sense freedom coming. Its claws dug deep into the platform, sparks flying as metal scraped against metal. Your confidence will end in seconds, the alien commander announced. My predator will tear you apart piece by piece. The others will watch, and after that, he glanced at the rest of the humans. Perhaps they will finally learn how to kneel. The human soldier tilted his head slightly. What's your name? He suddenly asked. The question caught the alien off guard. My name? Yeah, the human said. You keep talking like you're important. Figured you might have a name. The alien straightened his armor proudly. I am Commander Zareth of the Dominion, Conqueror of the Taurix system, Destroyer of the Orin Rebellion. My name is spoken with fear across 27 worlds. The human nodded slowly. Cool. The simple answer clearly annoyed Zareth. And what is your name, human? The commander asked with sharp curiosity. The soldier scratched the back of his neck casually. Sergeant Cole. Sergeant Cole, Zareth repeated. History will remember you as the first human devoured by the Varkish predator. Cole looked back at the massive creature again. It was breathing faster now. Its muscles tensed under its armored skin. Saliva dripped from rows of blade-like teeth. The chains were the only thing holding it back. Yeah, Cole muttered. About that, Zareth frowned. What? Cole slowly crouched down and picked something small off the ground. It was a broken metal shard from one of the destroyed vehicles nearby. He tossed it lightly in the air once, then caught it again. You said that thing hunted armies, right? Cole asked. Yes, Zareth answered proudly. Across continents? Yes. Cole nodded again. Impressive. Then he looked directly at Zareth. But tell me something. The alien commander's patience was almost gone. What now, human? Cole pointed at the predator again. Has it ever hunted humans before? Zareth paused. only for a second. But Cole noticed. "No," the alien admitted. "We didn't think so," Cole replied quietly. Now Zareth's eyes narrowed. "What difference would that make?" Cole smiled. It wasn't a big smile, but it carried a strange confidence that made several aliens shift uncomfortably. "Well," Cole said, standing up again, "that's kind of the funny part." He glanced around at the other humans one more time. Then he looked back at the alien commander. "Because humans." He paused. "Don't just hunt animals." Zareth's grip tightened on the control device. "And what exactly does that mean?" Cole gave a small shrug. "It means," he said calmly, "sometimes we hunt the hunters too." For a brief second, the battlefield felt different. The alien commander couldn't explain why, but something about the human's calm voice felt wrong, very wrong. Still, Zareth quickly pushed the thought away. "This conversation is over," he said coldly. His finger pressed the activation switch. With a loud metallic snap, the chains holding the Varkish predator exploded open. The creature dropped onto the ground with terrifying power. Dust burst into the air. The beast slowly lifted its head. Its glowing eyes locked directly onto Sergeant Cole. And then the predator began to move. Each step shook the dusty ground of the ruined colony. Its massive claws sank into the red soil, leaving deep marks behind. The creature's 4 glowing eyes never left Sergeant Cole. It had already chosen its first target. The humans behind. Cole held their breath. Some raised their rifles, but their hands were shaking. Against something that big, bullets felt almost useless. The predator lowered its head slightly. Then it inhaled. The sound was deep and heavy, like a storm breathing in before lightning strikes. Its long tail swept across the ground, smashing a broken metal crate into pieces. Commander Zareth watched proudly from behind. "This is the end of your bravery, human," he said calmly. Cole didn't answer. Instead, he took a few slow steps forward. That surprised everyone, even the humans. Behind him whispered nervously, "What is he doing? Is he crazy?" The predator noticed the movement and stopped. Its muscles tightened like coiled steel cables. It was studying Cole now, trying to understand him. Most prey ran. Most prey screamed. This one walked. Closer. Cole bent down and picked up another small piece of metal from the ground. He turned it in his fingers while studying the creature carefully. "Big teeth?" he muttered. The predator growled again, this time louder. Dust trembled around its feet. Commander Zareth smiled. "Yes," he said loudly, so everyone could. "Here, look closely, human. Those teeth have crushed armored soldiers. Those claws have sliced battle tanks in half." Cole nodded slowly. "Yeah. Very impressive." Then he suddenly threw the small metal shard far to the left. The piece of metal clattered loudly across the ground. For a split second, the predator's head snapped toward the sound. Just 1 second. But that was enough. Cole stepped sideways immediately, creating distance. Several humans behind him noticed and quickly shifted positions as well. Commander Zareth frowned. "What are you doing?" he demanded. Cole didn't look at him. "Testing something," he replied. The predator turned its head back toward Cole. Now its growl was deeper, more annoyed. The creature didn't like being distracted. Its patience was ending. Suddenly, it lunged forward. The ground exploded under its weight. Humans shouted as the monster charged straight toward Cole, moving far faster than something that large should be able to move. But Cole had already moved. He dove to the side just as the creature's claws slammed into the ground where he had been standing. The impact cracked the earth and sent dirt flying everywhere. Several humans fired their rifles. Bright flashes of gunfire filled the air. The bullet struck the predator's armored skin and bounced away. The soldiers froze. Did those just bounce off? Yes, Zareth said proudly. Your weapons are useless. The predator turned toward the nearest group of humans. Now it was angry. Its mouth opened wide, revealing rows of razor teeth. But before it could attack again, a loud metallic bang echoed across the battlefield. The predator flinched. Everyone turned. One of the human engineers had activated a damaged construction loader nearby. The huge machine's metal arms slammed down onto a pile of scrap metal, creating a massive crashing sound. The predator's attention snapped toward the noise again. Cole saw it instantly. See? He called out. He looked directly at Commander Zareth. Your monster is strong, Cole admitted. He pointed toward the predator. But it still hunts like an animal. Zareth's expression hardened. And? Cole smiled slightly. And animals? He said calmly, can be distracted. As if to prove his point, another loud noise exploded from the right side of the battlefield. A group of humans knocked over a stack of metal pipes. The predator whipped its head around again. Now it wasn't sure where to focus. Commander Zareth suddenly felt something unfamiliar. Concern. What are you trying to do? He demanded. Cole finally looked straight at him again. Just showing you something, Cole replied. Behind him, the humans were slowly spreading out, moving between destroyed vehicles and broken structures. The predator was powerful, but now it had too many directions to watch. Zareth's grip tightened on the control device. This changes. Nothing, he said sharply. My predator will still kill you all. Cole shrugged. Maybe. Then he pointed toward the creature again. But there's one thing you still don't understand. Zareth narrowed his glowing eyes. And what would that be? Cole's voice became very calm. You brought a hunter, he said. Then he glanced around at the dozens of humans quietly moving across the battlefield. But humans? He paused again. Hunt in packs. Hunt in packs? He repeated with quiet irritation. You believe numbers will save you? Sergeant Cole didn't answer immediately. Instead, he slowly looked around the battlefield. Humans were moving carefully between wrecked vehicles, broken walls, and scattered metal debris. None of them were running anymore. They were positioning, Zareth noticed. And something about it began to bother him. The predator, however, didn't care about tactics. Its patience had run out. With a violent roar, the Varkish lunged again, charging toward the nearest group of humans hiding behind a collapsed cargo container. The ground shook as it ran. But just before it reached them, a bright blue flash exploded beneath its feet. Boom! The blast knocked the massive creature sideways. It didn't seriously injure the predator, but the explosion was strong enough to throw it off balance. The creature crashed into a pile of metal beams, sending scrap flying everywhere. The aliens hovering above the battlefield reacted instantly. What was that? One of them shouted. Commander Zareth's eyes widened. That was an explosive. Dust cleared slowly. The predator rose again, shaking its armored head angrily. A few scorch marks covered its skin, but the creature was far from dead. Still, Zareth was no longer smiling. Where did they get explosives? One alien officer asked nervously. Zareth looked across the battlefield, and then he saw it. Small blinking lights, hidden between wreckage, buried in the dust. His stomach tightened. Wait. Sergeant Cole stepped out from behind a broken vehicle. Now he was smiling, not arrogantly, just patiently. You see it now? He asked. Zareth's voice dropped. You prepared this? Cole nodded. Of course we did. The alien commander looked around quickly. His scanners in. The helmet activated, sweeping across the battlefield. Dozens. No. Hundreds. Small explosive charges were buried across the ground like a hidden minefield. Zareth felt a sudden chill run through him. "You expected us," he said slowly. Cole shrugged. "Well, not you specifically." The predator roared again and charged toward Cole in blind rage. But Cole didn't move. He simply pressed a small remote in his hand. Boom! Another explosion detonated directly beside the creature. The blast lifted the predator off its feet again and slammed it into the ground. The humans behind the wreckage cheered. The alien soldiers above the battlefield began to panic. How did they place so many explosives without us noticing? Cole answered that question himself. "We've been on this planet for 3 years," he said calmly. He pointed down at the ground. "You thought this colony was just buildings and farms?" He shook his head. "No." Cole's voice turned. Serious. This place was a fortress. Zareth felt anger building. "You tricked us." Cole smiled slightly. "No." He gestured around the battlefield. "You just underestimated us." The predator rose again, angrier than ever. Its armor was blackened now, and its growl had turned into a furious scream. But this time it hesitated, because everywhere it stepped, another small blinking light waited beneath the dirt. Zareth looked at the battlefield one more time. The humans weren't surrounded. His forces were. His ships hovered above, but firing heavy weapons would risk destroying their own predator. And below, the humans were controlling the ground. Cole crossed his arms. "Here's the twist, Commander." Zareth glared at him. "What twist?" Cole pointed toward the predator, slowly circling in confusion. "You thought you released a monster into a group of helpless humans." He paused. Then his smile returned. "But really?" Cole lifted the remote again. "You just dropped your monster into our hunting trap." For the first time since the battle began, Commander Zareth felt something he had not felt in years: uncertainty. His glowing violet eyes scanned the battlefield again. Small blinking lights were everywhere, buried in the dust like hidden teeth, waiting to bite. The humans were no longer standing together in fear. They were spread out, calm and ready. They looked prepared. Behind him, the Varkesh predator paced slowly, confused and angry. Every step it took triggered another warning. Light beneath the ground. The creature growled, its tail smashing chunks of metal as it searched for a clear path to attack. But there was none. Sergeant Cole stood in the center of the battlefield, the small remote still in his hand. "Now you understand," he said. Quietly, Zareth's jaw tightened. "You believe you have won?" The alien commander said coldly. Cole shrugged. "No," he replied calmly. "Not yet." The predator suddenly roared again and leapt forward, ignoring the blinking lights. Beneath its feet, Cole pressed the remote. Boom! A chain of explosions ripped across the battlefield. Fire and dust burst into the air, shaking the ground violently. The massive predator was thrown backward once again, crashing through a pile of wrecked machinery. This time, it didn't get up immediately. Smoke rolled off its armored skin. Deep cracks now spread across parts of its black plating. The humans watched carefully. Even wounded, the creature was still dangerous. Zareth's anger finally exploded. "You fools," he shouted. "Even if you destroy the predator, my fleet still controls the sky. I can turn this entire colony into ash." Cole slowly looked up at the alien ships hovering above. Then he smiled again. "That's true," he admitted. The alien commander straightened proudly. "But if you do that," Cole continued, "you lose the predator." Zareth hesitated. The Varkesh predator was not just a weapon. It was an imperial creation worth more than entire fleets. Destroying it from orbit would be a massive loss for the Dominion. Cole could see the calculation happening behind the alien's glowing eyes. "That's what I thought," Cole said quietly. At that moment, the wounded predator finally began to move again. It struggled to its feet, roaring with pain and rage. Pieces of its armor cracked as it tried to step forward. Its glowing eyes locked onto Cole once more. Even injured, the monster wanted its prey. Cole looked at the creature carefully. "Still tough," he muttered. Then he spoke loudly so everyone could hear. "All right. Final lesson." The humans behind the wreckage lifted their weapons and tools. Some held rifles. Others held industrial cutters, plasma torches, and mining drills. They were not just soldiers. They were colonists, workers, survivors. And right now, they were hunters. Cole looked directly at the alien commander. "You spent years building the perfect predator," he said. Zareth said nothing. Cole gestured toward the humans. "But humanity didn't build one monster." He paused, and he spread his arms toward the entire battlefield. "We built millions." At that exact moment, another series of charges detonated beneath the predator. Boom, boom, boom. The ground erupted beneath the creature. Flames and debris shot into the air as the final trap triggered. The Varkesh predator roared one last time before collapsing into the burning crater. Silence slowly returned to the battlefield. Smoke drifted through the red dust. The monster was gone. High above, the alien ships hovered nervously. Commander Zareth stared at the crater where his empire's ultimate hunter had fallen. Cole stepped forward. "You asked us to kneel," the human said calmly. Zareth slowly looked at him. Cole's voice was quiet now, but every word was sharp. "Humans don't kneel to monsters." He pointed toward the sky where the alien fleet waited. "We hunt them." Around him, dozens of humans raised their weapons again. Zareth finally understood the truth. This planet was not conquered. It was defended. And humanity was not prey.